Good morning and welcome to the Growth Planning Steering Committee. It is Friday, May the 10th, 2024, 9:48 p.m. or a.m. and I will call this meeting to order. We have an agenda before us.
Resolved that the agenda for the May 10th, 2024 meeting of the Growth Planning Steering Committee be approved as presented.
Moved by Councillor Noble and seconded by Deputy Warden Jones. All in favor? That's carried. We have no minutes to adopt. I will remind the committee of any disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. And then we will move into reports and briefings. But before that, I wish to take the opportunity to welcome both Minister Sakaria and Minister Flack for being here this morning. And thank you, Minister Flack, for arranging and coordinating the meeting and having your colleague come visit us. It's a pleasure to have you in Elgin County. Today, of course, we want to talk about growth in the region and particularly from the planned, from the investments that the province has made and the investments that are occurring in the city of St. Thomas. We know that there will be regional spin-offs, and Elgin County is poised as the regional government to help the government of Ontario realize these investments to their fullest potential. But in order to do that, we're going to be needing some assistance from the province to help us get there, from both a growth perspective, from an industrial point of view, from a residential point of view, and that's why we're here today. We would characterize this, I guess, as chapter one of perhaps more discussions with the province and Minister Flack with many of your colleagues down the road, and setting the stage again so that we can help you realize the potentials of what's going to be happening in the region. With that, I would welcome an Elgin County Infrastructure Planning Needs presentation. And this morning, first, I believe Carolyn Cron, our Manager of Economic Development, Tourism, and Strategic Initiatives, is going to lead off the presentation, followed by our Director of Engineering Services to talk more about the linear assets within Elgin County, meaning our roads. So Carolyn, please, at your convenience.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Through you to Minister Sakaria and Minister Flack. We are excited here in Elgin County about the opportunities available in Ontario and in Elgin specifically. So Canada and Ontario have been investing billions of dollars in the EV supply chain to address climate change. And transitioning to EVs will foster innovation in our automotive cluster and will create numerous ripple effects throughout the province. Localizing the EV battery supply chain opens up upstream investment opportunities that will support our surrounding industries and foster spin-off entrepreneurship. So developing industry clusters will help spur local economic development, and we here in Elgin County are uniquely positioned to support the EV battery supply chain and help the province meet their housing targets. So again, this will mean industrial growth, commercial growth, and residential growth for our region. And we're excited to support the province in their goals in this area. So Elgin County has several advantages to doing business in this area. We are located in the heart of Ontario's automotive manufacturing cluster. We offer strategic advantages for supply chain efficiency, logistics, and industry collaboration. So Ontario's 400 series highways connects our OEMs and a cluster of tier 1, 2, and 3 automotive parts suppliers. There are 3 U.S. borders within 2 hours of the Elgin County region, and the Volkswagen PowerCo site currently under construction is just 14 kilometers away from the center of Elgin. The GM CAMI assembly plant in Ingersoll and Toyota manufacturing in Woodstock are 30 and 45 minutes away. There is also room to grow in Elgin County. So 118084 Sunset Road presents a rare opportunity in Southwold for businesses seeking a larger lot with easy access to Ontario's Highway 401. So there are 527 acres zoned commercial, industrial, available with 157 acres ready to go. And in addition to this site in Southwold, we also have a site ready to go in central Elgin. So the Rail and Road Industrial Park has 288 acres of industrial land optimally located adjacent to St. Thomas. And it fronts Highway 3 with easy access to Highways 401 and 402. We are also home to a skilled workforce. So in Elgin and St. Thomas, we have a population of 94,000 people, and this population is expected to reach 102,000 people by 2026. And the regional population, including Elgin, St. Thomas, Middlesex, London, and Oxford, is 717,000 people, which is expected to grow to 792,000 people by 2026. And we also offer a unique quality of life here in Elgin County, and we can help Ontario develop attractive, welcoming, and safe communities by supporting a province-wide housing and community development strategy that promotes economic growth. Elgin County is responding to increased residential demand with 1,887 single-family and multi-residential units under construction already or planned for 2024 and 2025. So we are looking forward to further supporting Ontario's housing strategy by redeveloping the former St. Thomas Psychiatric Hospital property for residential use. So the investments that have been made in this region and the investments that those will continue to drive, whether they are industrial, commercial, or residential, will need robust infrastructure systems. So the road to success starts here. So we're positioned again at the center of Ontario's automotive cluster, and we offer a compelling destination for businesses seeking to flourish. So with our strong manufacturing heritage and a workforce renowned for its technical expertise, this region provides a solid platform for success for industrial, commercial, and residential development. And with that, I will pass things on to Peter.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Warden, to Ministers Flack and Sarkaria. You're likely aware of where these planned developments are located within Elgin County. And this infrastructure is in place in order to support these developments. So before we can determine how to support these developments, we need to understand the outcomes. Because these are future outcomes, there are assumptions based on the information we have available at this time. We've heard 3,000 to 6,000 new jobs for the industrial developments. We're also excited to understand there's potentially 2,000 to 4,000 new attainable housing units to be developed in the municipality of Central Elgin. New workers, new residents will create more traffic on the county road system as previously planned. Where will these workers come from? Well, we believe that half of the commuters will reside outside of our community and specifically outside of Elgin County. The county commissioned a growth forecast and land needs analysis completed by the Hebson Group, and they confirmed that a large number of manufacturer employers have a low share of jobs filled locally. And the experience they drew upon was General Motors in Ingersoll, where only 25% of those employees actually live within Ingersoll. The Honda plant in New Tecumseth, where only 22% of those workers reside within the local community. And finally, the Toyota Woodstock plant, where only 40% of those residents live within the city of Woodstock. This is a concept that's accepted and supported by the various traffic studies that have been completed to date by the city of St. Thomas. Well, how much more traffic is expected? We're assuming that the industrial developments, the Yarmouth Yards, there's a map shown on the desks in front of you of that vast development, that will create an additional 3,000 work trips by 2043. And those assumptions have informed the city of St. Thomas's plans to widen their section of Highbury Avenue within the city limits. And that construction is currently underway. With the redevelopment of the provincial lands across the street at the former psychiatric lands, and considering a projection of 2,000 to 4,000 new attainable housing units, that's estimated to generate an additional 1,300 trips on a daily basis. These estimations will be further refined as plans are developed and in collaboration with the province. These are simply assumptions based on the information we have at hand today. It's critical that any transportation investments that we plan are coordinated with the province to ensure that these investments and the provincial goals for housing are fully realized. Which roads specifically would be impacted? Well, a trip distribution model has been developed and has been with the consultation between the City of St. Thomas and their consultants with the development of the traffic impact studies that have been created. Key highlights to date within this table are 40% of the passenger cars and 70% of the trucks that the VW plant will generate will utilize the new to be constructed widened MTO Highway 3 Expressway. This is a welcomed investment. This will help reduce impacts to other county roads. And in fact, county engineering staff are working collaboratively on a regular monthly basis with MTO staff and their consultant team to collaborate and advance the project. This trip distribution model also assumes that only 10% of the passenger vehicles would utilize Highbury Ave north of the city of St. Thomas on County Road 30. Once again, these are our best available estimates at this time and subject to further review and consideration. How will county roads support this additional traffic? One lane of a county road can typically handle around 1,000 to 1,200 vehicles per hour in one direction. This is our metric for full capacity. This is the tipping point. This is where operations become very poor, delays become more frequent, and collisions increase. These existing county arterial roadways that connect the city of St. Thomas to Highway 401, the city of London and beyond are predominantly that we determine to be most significantly impacted at this time are Highbury Avenue, Ron McNeil Line, and Belmont Road. Currently, these roads are operating between 40 and 60% of their capacity. However, in 20 years' time, we project that the additional traffic generated from these developments will exceed these capacity limits. Essentially, there'll be more vehicles than the roads can handle. The purpose of the next slide is a map showing what type of improvements would be required. The purpose of the slide is to present a first step in our investigation and to inform the planning that will be further refined once additional information becomes available. There are 3 sections of road that will exceed capacity, and there are 3 intersections that will require improvements, ideally roundabouts at those locations. This information is intended to stimulate a discussion in order to collaborate with the province to determine how to best plan for the future and support these investments. This next slide simply lists these anticipated improvements identified on the previous slide. It's important to understand that it's difficult to time these investments. We will either be proactive or reactive. The scope of these type of work take many years to plan, and then they take many years to construct. And finally, some concluding comments. While these transportation planning assumptions may not come to fruition as we're looking at them today, we do have a confidence that the magnitude of these developments will have significant impacts to the surrounding county road network. It's therefore paramount that we plan and coordinate collaboratively with the province to support this growth so that investments can be fully realized. We look forward to working with provincial staff to further develop plans to maximize the potential of this historic regional growth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you both Peter and Carolyn for your presentations. And now ministers, this is an opportunity if there are any clarifying points that we can make for you on the presentation, please ask. This again is just meant to be an education session. It's meant to be an informal discussion. We do look forward to working with both of you as well as hopefully many more of your colleagues.
Well, it's great to be here, number one. Number two, when we talked the last time I was here, we're coming through with what we said we would do. And we realize the investment that we're experiencing here in Elgin County is, as I said when we announced Volkswagen, it's a wonderful, like we get to celebrate, hooray, hooray. But then the heavy lifting begins, right? And the heavy lifting has begun. I drove Minister Sarkaria down Highbury Avenue on purpose. I told your warden that I would do that. And I wanted him to see the magnitude of the Volkswagen PowerCo site, because you can talk about it all you want, but until you physically see it, it is a massive undertaking. It's going to be the 4th largest manufacturing facility in the world when it's done, unless one's built quicker. haven't heard of it yet. But along with that investment is going to come, and I'm going to keep using the word infrastructure. And it's not just the plant itself, but it's roads. And I think the big thing here is we're going to get a population growth. So I say infrastructure vis-a-vis water, wastewater, roads tied into housing. We're going to have more people, right, Carolyn? We're just going to have a lot more people. And that's good. And it's also, but we have to be prepared for it and proactive. And that's why we're here. So I've given the minister a pretty good heads up, I think, my sense of briefing, but I think you guys are the living on the ground, so to speak, and understand it intimately. So what we're here to do is to listen and learn. And I look forward to our tour because as I maintain, and Warden, we talked about you guys bringing the team, we can do that too. But I want to, Prab, I want to bring ministers here because I think if you touch it, see it, feel it, was always my experience in business. I'd like to be out, go and see customers, dealers, plants, operations. That's where you learn where you need to invest. And I think being a Brampton boy, we'll get him out of the big smoke and get him down here into the country and see how Southwest is going at it. So I'll maybe stop at that and just welcome and thank, obviously, Minister Sarkaria for coming. He's a great colleague, a great friend, and I know that he is going to be passionately supportive in the direction we collectively decide to take. But we got to get him up to speed so he can see and go back and talk to his officials and say, here's what we're going to prioritize. So I'll maybe turn it over to Minister Carey to say a few words and we'll ask some questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. And a pleasure to be here, Warden, and everyone else as well, because not only to see the incredible growth, but also many of our conversations just over the last couple of months as being the Minister of Transportation and some of the challenges that and opportunities actually that exist here. And so me and Rob have spoken about that multiple times, and I took him up on his offer to come see firsthand, and just in the first half hour or so of driving around, kind of doing a tour with Rob, he's absolutely right until you actually see it. We've talked about the Volkswagen plant for almost a year now, but to see the scale of it and all roads that are connecting to it and the surrounding region, it really helps you conceptualize what it means not only for the region, the scale of it, and it helps you appreciate it and understand some of the challenges that can arise. So I think this is a good opportunity. I think I'm really happy that I made the trip out here today, and looking forward to our tour as well, because not only with the Volkswagen plant, but just seeing the presentation and the potential for more growth and the couple hundred extra acres of industrial development that you can bring online here. Look, we want to be partners at the Ministry of Transportation to help and see how we can work together and build a road network that is efficient, that is safe, that helps not only move goods, people. A lot of farmers I know are using these roads as well. So we want to be particularly appreciative and respectful of that as well. Which, in some places in Ontario, you don't have to take into consideration. But given what we have in the community here with a lot of the farming community, as well as the industrial growth and the residential growth that you've noted, I think we'll have a good opportunity to bring all three together and come to a partnership or a plan forward in which we're all working together, aligned, and helping support each other on this significant opportunity that we have before us. So we're very grateful to be here. I think the Volkswagen investment, PowerCo, is something that is really going to not only impact locally here, but obviously all across Canada, Ontario. It's something everyone internationally is looking at. So getting this right and making sure that we can have an integrated plan between the province and all of our partners is critical. ensuring that any challenges that arise along the way are dealt with in a way that we can all collectively work together on. So really happy to be here. Rob, thank you for extending the invite to come see firsthand. And I know we'll have, this will be one of many conversations that have already been begun, but also continued collaboration between the Ministry of Transportation, myself, Rob, and everyone here to see how we can land this and continue to work together. So thank you for that, and looking forward to the tour as well.
I would also say that the Premier's in full support of us being here. He is knowing that you know, he's not into the weeds in this, but he's as you know, the slogan, get it done kind of guy. So he's sending out the big guys here to try and get. Peter, could you, first of all, can we get a copy of that presentation for the minister?
Absolutely.
Number one, can we maybe just hit on, and I know you're going to take us on the tour, just give the minister a broad view of the number 3 expansion, why that's good, the 401, the access, but then some of the main arterial roads like Highbury and some of the challenges that you see going forward. Some of the, if you could just specifically start at 3, kind of hit the top 2, 3 roads, and then we'll obviously talk about it when we're on the roads.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Warden, to MPP Flack. Thank you for the opportunity to speak about this. The Highway 3 expansion, the expressway, has been planned for 50 years. That corridor has existed since 1971, and finally it's being expanded. For many years, the right-of-way was there through the city of St. Thomas, extending all the way to Highway number 4. At one time, it actually extended to Highway 401, but those lands were dismissed in previous decades. Now that Highway 4 is a good connection point, it makes sense to terminate the Highway 3 expressway at that location. So it's being widened. It currently is only a 2-lane highway, but the right-of-way is sufficient width to accommodate the additional lanes of traffic, albeit there will be an additional structure that is. There was some borehole investigations completed last week by the ministry and their staff and their consultant Stantec within the city of St. Thomas. There was going to be a significant interchange over Wellington Road, which is a major arterial road connecting the city of St. Thomas to the city of London and the 401. There's also going to be an interchange. If you look at the map before you, where the red line shows the extension of the Highway 3 expressway, there's a bit of a confusing intersection there where Wonderland Road meets Ron McNeil Line and meets the current expressway. There were plans to develop a roundabout at that location in collaboration with the County of Elgin and the ministry. When the news of this VW development came through and we understood that the expressway was going to actually be extended, an interchange is now being proposed at that location in the next 3 years, and you're likely well aware of that. So the traffic studies that have been completed to date, and as I've mentioned in my presentation, those trip generation estimations propose that 40% of the passenger vehicles and 70% of the heavy trucks will utilize that bypass in order to facilitate this industrial area. And that's very important to us. And we want to ensure that those numbers come true because it's really the heavy commercial vehicles that destroy roadways. Cars congest roadways, cause other problems with delays and frustration for travelers getting to and from work, and collisions, of course, but it's really the heavy axle loading that destroy roadways. So we want to ensure that the commercial traffic utilizes the new expressway, and that's going to be very helpful to the upper tier and the local roads in the region. Many of our busiest roads exist connecting the City of London, the Highway 401 corridor, to the City of St. Thomas. Back before the new municipal act in year 2000, we had a suburban roads commission because the city of St. Thomas at that time understood the importance of these roadways. They would facilitate commuter traffic to them, to the city, through Elgin County. We haven't had that commission for quite a while, so it's up to Elgin County to invest in these major arterial roadways. These are our busiest roadways. 10,000 to 13,000 cars a day. That's not a lot of traffic compared to Brampton roadways, but that's a lot for rural Elgin County, where our average roadways are maybe 2,000 vehicles per day. So there are a handful of these major arterial roadways, being Wonderland Road, Wellington Road, Highbury Avenue, Belmont Road, and then Imperial Road, which used to be Highway 73 that connects the 401 to the town of Elmer, which has a population of about 7,000 people. So those roadways we foresee becoming busier, and that's where we get into this tipping point of capacity. Other roadways could double and triple in volume, and we'd still be in good shape. But if these major arterial roadways expand with the volumes that we expect, we're going to get past that capacity. Those numbers, intersections will have to be improved and so on. I trust that gives you some sort of color, Minister Flack. Thank you.
Who owns what of those roads? Explain to the minister who owns what and who manages what, please.
I would be pleased to. Thank you for that question. Once you leave the city of St. Thomas boundary as depicted on the map before you, those major arterial roadways are under the county's jurisdiction. The province, there was a significant amount of provincial downloading that occurred in the late 90s, and the province had only retained a short section of Highway 4 from Talbotville up to the 401. It's about 4 kilometers long or so. And number 3 from Talbotville extending easterly through the city of St. Thomas all the way through Elgin County up to Tillsonburg. Those are the only 2 provincial highways that remain within Elgin County. All of these other significant roadways are under the county's jurisdiction.
And you share Highbury with the city of London, right?
Yes, sir. There is approximately 12 to 14 kilometers of length between the city of St. Thomas limits and the Highway 401. Only 40% of the length of Highbury Avenue, and that will extend. That'll be the tour that we take later on today. It sounds like you took that way in. You saw the roadway for firsthand. County Council has done a great job investing in these arterial roadways, and I hope you'll appreciate when you're on your tour, and I'll be sure to mention it, how good condition our roadways are in. And our section of Highbury Avenue has been recently rehabilitated, completely reconstructed in 2018, so it's in great condition. Unfortunately, there's 60% of its length to get to Highway 401. That's within the City of London's jurisdiction. That roadway has a lot more geometrical challenges, and it's not quite in the condition of Elgin County's portion.
As you've the roadways that you've maintained, maybe generally speaking, on maintenance, on expansion, how much of the capital budget is reserved for that? And how in the past have you been able to maintain those, and maybe just and how that's, and if you have an estimate of how that's changed post and your projections have changed both on expansion and maintenance post the announcement of PowerCo.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Warden, to Minister Sakara. We're at the first innings of this. We're doing our best to capture what today looks like. We're actively collecting traffic data, and we're doing it on an annual basis. And we are also curious to see how this volume ramps up over the years. As I had mentioned, an average county road has about 2,000 cars a day. So we have very few Class 2 and Class 1 roads under the minimum maintenance standards. We operate uniquely and very progressively in Elgin County. Our local municipalities maintain the county road system under contract, and we've been doing so for almost 30 years. So the township of Southold maintains Wellington Road and Wonderland Road for us, the operational maintenance, not the capital expenditures. And the municipality of Central Elgin looks after Highbury Avenue and Belmont Road, for example. Because the response time specifically dictated by winter control activities and the time that you have to actually get out to a road after a winter storm event, specific routes have been identified to only address those roadways because they take the immediate response. no matter the conditions of the roadway, people want to still drive the speed limit. Doesn't matter how much snow has fallen. So we expect those maintenance costs to increase and our funding allocations to the municipalities to increase also. We've been fortunate to work within the existing road right-of-way and what we have for road materials because we don't exceed capacity. We do not have any 4-lane roadways in Elgin County. They are all, our 700-kilometer road system is all 2-lane roadways. So we don't have any experience with 4-lane roadways. And we've been fortunate to utilize in-place recycling techniques for the majority of our rehabilitations. Our predecessors have done a good job constructing excellent granular bases and successive layers of asphalt. And we all know that those costs of those materials and commodities have escalated in the last decades. So we're a huge proponent in recycling existing roadways. And so that's how we've been able to manage the cost to date.
Is there concern or thought or opportunity to consider no guarantees, just floating up, like take Highbury, like a number 3 will be owned by, or Highbury, should that be a provincial highway? I guess is what I'm asking.
Through you, Mr. Warden, to Minister Flack, there could be some efficiencies with such an arrangement because you're dealing with 2 road jurisdictions. In order to improve Highbury within Elgin County solves a problem for Elgin County. However, the commuters would still have to travel upon a substandard roadway to get to that section. There'd be a bottleneck created there. So there would be an opportunity to the London portion, absolutely. So if that was not under the county's jurisdiction, the expansion or the improvement of that roadway to include 2 jurisdictions would be, could create some efficiencies.
So could Highbury potentially become, would it make sense for you from a engineering logistics, should it be a 4-lane highway? From the 401 to St. Thomas or wherever you'd, again, asking, not suggesting, asking.
Through you, Mr. Warden, yeah. From the information we have to date, that is the most direct route. We saw a manufacturing cycle that occurred in the city of St. Thomas in the 2000s. We had Format and Sterling. We had some good manufacturers that were present here. Highbury Avenue was the busy road. That was only connected through in 1998. That was never really a thoroughfare and a major arterial connection. When that manufacturing cycle came through and St. Thomas was bustling with that activity 20 years ago, Highbury Avenue was our busiest road. That's come down a little bit, but it's still a very busy roadway. As mentioned, if those volumes increase by 50%, it will require to have additional lanes. It will require to be a 4-lane roadway, yes.
So with Highway 3 becoming 4 lanes and Highbury potentially, think how much relief does that give the county in terms of flow, both manufacturing and residential, like commercial and residential, I'm sorry.
Through you, Mr. Warden, that solution would tick a number of boxes. It may not resolve all the potential growth-related concerns that may come in the future. However, that would be significant in regards to being the most direct route. People will always tend to travel the route they determine, they feel is the most direct route and is the most efficient route. And if you look on the map, Highbury Avenue is the direct north to south route that directly connects this development to the Highway 401 in the city of London.
And eligibility on the Connecting Links program with Highbury, and if there have been any applications put forward on that?
I'm aware of the Connecting Links program. However, because that does not have any highway status, we didn't think that would really pertain to Highbury Avenue, it being a county roadway.
A review of our Connecting Links program and eligibility expansion, and looking at other ways to incorporate some programming into it. So it would be a great takeaway for maybe you to kind of if Highbury was not eligible because of it being a county road, for us to take that back. And maybe, Rob, if they could share with you as well. We'd love to take it back as we kind of look at the Connecting Links program and maybe certain eligibility criteria and how we can maybe serve municipal partners a bit better through some revisions to that program. So just, high level thinking about it, would love to hear your thoughts on it, especially given the example that you've highlighted with Highbury as well.
Perfect. Grant, please.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Through you to ministers. So I'm going to take more of a political side because Peter's not going to go that way. So Elgin County's done a great job of maintaining those highways to the best of our ability to the limits of the City of London. If you look at the map of City of London, it's a very long time before they're going to be out that far. So those roads aren't really in the big picture right now for them. It's many, many years before they'll come out that way. So
road you talking?
whether it's Wonderland or Highbury, because it's in their very long-term sites, I would say. So, yeah, so that's the challenge. If you try to work with the City of London, they have more priorities, bigger priorities than these ones right now. If you look even at Wonderland, what we've done to our section of the road on the backside of our industrial lands is much better than as soon as you hit the border of the City of London, which is really 2 or 3 steps down from where we are at for standards.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That's something that from the Ministry of
Yeah, Wonderland's just, it's in our future just because of the situation of our industrial lands and how busy Sunset will be. It's, I would say that for the county is a long-term goal, but the way things are going right now, who knows what long-term actually means, but.
So we also have Amazon. Go up Sunset and then on your way to the 401, we're in the corner of 4 and 4. Are we going by there? We're not. Okay, so you're going to get to see on the, as they say from the Maritimes, the tour, on the tour.
On the tour. Yes, yes. Okay. Minister Sakaria, I want to thank you very much for your comments earlier. And when you first began, you mentioned and you touched on the importance of the agricultural industry within Elgin County. And of course, the improvements that are going to be along the number 3, number 4 corridor are definitely meant to move traffic, and we get that. But the challenge for our agricultural producers in the area will be moving their goods and services and their agricultural implements across those corridors. And hopefully along the tour, this is something that will become more visualized so that you can gain perhaps a broader appreciation for. Agriculture in a county is a significant contributor to our local economy and I know Minister Flack is well aware of this, well over 600 million in sales annually, 200 different commodities that can be grown here. And while we welcome the industrial developments in the core, we still have a lot of farms operating and a variety of goods that need to be moved, not only at harvest time, but in the springtime. And perhaps because the weather's decent today, you might see some of that large equipment trying to move across some of these corridors today. Yes, yes, we were hoping for that too. So the other component, and we spoke briefly in the hallway, Minister, about this. along with our linear assets, with the investments that are going on in the region, it might be time that Elgin County even speak more with the province on the future of a community transit program. It's something that we don't have here in Elgin County per se. But as part of the SCORE family, we know that our regional partners, there are 9 community transit programs out there around us. And with the investments and trying to move people both for employment purposes as well as for recreation or just day-to-day living, it might be time that we start thinking. And I know that our staff have been in some conversations with our regional partners about a community transit program, but I'm hoping that we can perhaps open the door a little bit for future discussions with you and your staff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. On the community transportation program in our budget, we did announce a new allocation of a permanent program, $5 million each year. Much like the Connecting Links program on this, the second version of which was the first version, which was released in, I think, 2018, 2019. We would love to hear some direct feedback on how, whether it be collaboration, public-private partnerships, or just in general, many of the projects that we funded were getting good feedback. We've got a lot of data, but there's also a lot of ideas out there on not only cooperation, partnerships, but how that transit program can be structured. So we're actively looking at, as we launch the next phase of that, on ways to not only improve it, but encourage more rural transportation and transit. So we'd love to take, if there's a follow-up to this on that, is your thoughts. Maybe if you could summarize those and see what has worked, what has not worked, where are the opportunities in that program. If we can take that back, that would be very helpful. So there is a role for transit to play, especially when you have such a significant investment from an industrial perspective and moving large amounts of people, whether not only just construction, but also when eventually we get to operationalizing the facilities, but also moving labor from, as you noted in your presentation, a lot of that labor coming from outside of Elgin as well. So that those are all considerations that we need to look at, and how we move people efficiently, whether it be through transit or other means, is very important to us. So we want to encourage a lot of that and be partners with municipalities, and full well knowing that it's difficult to sustain off the top. The government will be a funding partner moving forward on some of those projects that we would like to look at. So that we'll have more information on that. But as we design that program, we are reaching out to many of those who have been involved, some who weren't involved, to see how we can come up with a program that best suits the unique needs of rural transportation across this province. So I look forward to maybe hearing some of those thoughts and where those opportunities might be.
And thank you very much for that. Does anyone else have anything to offer on this comment or on this discussion this morning? Councillor Noble?
Through you, Mr. Warden, last year during AMO, Minister Flack and Premier Ford managed to have a tour that came down this way. And I know Premier Ford noticed how busy Highbury was at the time when he was touring through there. And he did mention that probably would need some support there. So in the big house there where you guys are, I think Premier Ford's interested in helping us out too.
I would say that and I think, Todd, you know this, when we left a little event in London, I told him the detail that, when you we go to see the PowerCo plant, I want you to go down Highbury. Well, no, we're not going to go that way. I don't know, that's the way I want you to go, please. And I want you to come back, because we went to Howe's Farm Market right after, stopped in. I said, I want you to go on that highway. So, okay. So Flack got his way for once, and down they went and worked perfectly. So we got to Howe's Farm Market, and he got out of the car and he said, Flacker, we got to fix this road. This isn't going to work. So we're going to see it again today. So we'll get the guy that really looks at it to see. We've been down it once. It's not even a highway, is it? Like, it's considered a highway, but technically it's not a highway.
provincial highway, and it's formally classified as a highway under the Highway Traffic Act, but it's a county roadway that is starting to become very busy, yes.
Well, I think this has been a very productive discussion. I've certainly appreciated both of your attendance and I appreciate staff by putting the work together and providing the information. We've got lots to communicate down the road for sure. Deputy Warden Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Just a thought just popped up that I hadn't said anything about. Our staff at I believe the county staff and my own Southwold staff have heard that the gap in what the study didn't have between Sunset Clinton line and 401 MTO has come to the table and is doing the study to finalize the whole of Sunset, which we're very grateful for. And so we're glad to hear that's happening.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, Deputy Warden, for those comments. I was relying on you on the tour to illustrate that to the ministers, particularly given the the location of the Amazon plant and with the expected upgrades along number 4, and there might create some challenges for Amazon and anyone else along the Broccolini properties. And Westminster Bourne is also another spot that you've identified to us that is something that I think is important for the minister to see as well. Again, I'll put the last call out there. Does anyone have anything else to offer on this discussion? Recognizing the hour and where we're moving to, and we do want to provide lots of time for the minister to see the sites. Perfect. Springtime. Wonderful. Well, again, thank you both formally for being here this morning. Let's get through some of these procedures and then we'll be off. Okay. Catherine, please, we have a motion.
Resolved that the presentation titled Elgin County Advantage Transportation Infrastructure Planning from the Manager of Economic Development and Tourism and the Director of Engineering Services dated May 10th, 2024 be received and filed.
I think it's Deputy Warden Jones's turn to move that, and Councillor Noble's turn to second that. All in favor? That's carried. Brings us down to the date of the next meeting, which will be at the call of the chair, which brings us to the adjournment motion.
Resolved that we do now adjourn at 10:37 a.m. to meet again at the call of the chair.
I think Councillor Noble wants to move that one, and Deputy Warden Jones will second that. All in favor? Carried. We are adjourned. Thank you.